Hello and welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, which means it's time for another brand new episode of Star Trek Discovery, episode 4. So, the first official filler episode in season 5 so far. What did I think of it? I actually enjoyed it. I really did. It was a fun episode, despite it being filler. So, basically, continuing on from last week's episode where we see Maul plant something on Adira's uniform, we finally figure out what that was. And it is a time bug. Yes, so time travel shenanigans is going to happen. We get a whole bunch of shenanigans going on in this episode with traveling back in time along Discovery's timeline to flashing forward to a potential future for what could happen if Maul and Locke succeed. So that's basically the whole premise of the episode, but it's also a kind of character growth episode for Raynar because, he's still the way he was when he was captain, keeping the crew at arm's length, not opening up to the crew, not seeing that whilst, yes, the Discovery crew are all familiar with each other, that's how that works for them. And so this episode was for him to see it, but it was also character growth for Burnham to see how far she's come since being a mutineer. And knowing where that this is the final season, I think it was perfect in that regards. So basically, that we get jumps to when the Discovery was being built in the San Francisco fleet, the dry dock there, which I thought I would have loved to see more of that. It was just a quick scene because in one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek Voyager, the one where Seven is constantly being jumping through different eras in time, and we see Voyager in her early stages. I love that opening scene of seeing Janeway walking through Voyager before it's even finished being ready. So I would have loved to see more of that. And so then we of course get to see some scenes of them when Lorca was captain. Unfortunately, we don't get to see Lorca. We see them as they're in the time bubble going to the 32nd century, following Burnham in the Red Angel suit. Then we also see the potential future of what happens if they don't succeed, where Maul and Locke get so far ahead that they find the progenitor tech, they sell it onto the Breen. The Breen are getting another name drop here, and they just go and decimate all of Starfleet. And Discovery is the only ship left, which, in my opinion, kind of ties into Calypso in a sense. The short trek that we got not long after season 1 had come out, before season 2, before we saw them actually go into the 32nd century. So I could be wrong on that front, that it's not tying in with Calypso, but to me it felt like it. And then of course the main brunt of the episode is trying to figure out how to stop this time bug, because not only is Burnham and Raynar not affected, because of Stamets' tardigrade DNA, he's not affected. It's not the first time this has happened. Thinking back to season 1 of Star Trek Discovery with when Harry Mudd, was doing something similar in that episode. Stamets was the only one who wasn't affected because he was, injecting himself with the tardigrade DNA. So I thought that was a nice callback. So yeah, we basically jump to the main end of the episode is focused in with Michael as the mutineer. So they have the longest stretch of time to, after they make the item to get them out of the with the time bug, they realize that anything that gets close to the time bug ages rapidly as a defense mechanism for it. And so they realize that the best way to get it to stop is if they go at warp speed, break the warp bubble, and then they have that little bit of leeway that putting, getting something through that won't age as quickly, and that's how they kill the bug. But there is a scene with Michael fighting herself. We have season 5 Burnham versus season 1 Burnham, and it's basically just one big giant, why are you hitting yourself? Because since she's fighting herself, it really is a why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? But then again, it's easy to be explained that Burnham of season 1 was a lot more uppity in herself. She still blamed herself for the start of that Klingon war. She still blamed herself for the death of Philippa Georgiou, prime Philippa Georgiou, and all that stuff. And then we also get to see Airiam again, and since her character was killed off in season 2, and it literally took for Burnham to tell Airiam, look, in the next year you're gonna die, because of this computer virus, the AI that's going to take over that could potentially kill the war with the whole galaxy, and the only way for you to potentially stop it is if you kill yourself. And she's like, the rest of the crew are like, no, Airiam wouldn't do that, and Airiam was just like, yes, I would 100% do that. In order to save people, I would 100% sacrifice myself for that. And I love that. I love seeing Airiam again. Like, the moment Airiam's name came up, I was like, oh. Like, I liked Airiam. So that's why, like, her death, I was upset at her death. Especially at the funeral that they gave for her in season 2. So yeah, they go back, they've managed to fix it. Raynar also manages to open up and, starts to see Burnham's way of doing things on Discovery, as well as, understanding that if it wasn't for his familiarity with Rhys, who said that his favorite ship was the Constitution class, and spoke about it in his 20 words or less in last week's episode, as well as Burnham opening up to Raynar about being a mutineer and stuff, about when she first entered onto Discovery because of Lorca, that he was able to talk her down as well for that to work. And so they lost about 6 hours in that timeline. Maul and Locke have managed to get to their coordinates and disappear, because that was the whole issue when they arrived at these coordinates. There was nothing there. So yeah, filler episode, but a filler episode that I actually really enjoyed. I love the character beats that we get to see. I love the character development that Raynar got. I love the fact that we've seen just how far Burnham has come in the 5 years of Discovery. Again, just a big giant why are you hitting yourself moment. It was nice to see Airiam again. I really enjoyed that. That got me in the feels. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing next week's episode. Again, the Breen are constantly getting mentions here, and that's why there's the current running fan theory that Locke is a Breen. He's what the unmasked Breens look like, because no one knows what's underneath the Breen's helmet. Well, there is Kira Nerys from that one episode of DS9 where she comes dressed up in the whole Breen outfit, so she obviously took the helmet off of the Breen, but it's never been mentioned. So that's my opinion on the episode. I liked it. It is a filler episode though, so I can see why people might not like it, but I'm a Discovery apologist. I love the show, so obviously I was going to love this episode because it is fan service for those who have watched Discovery, from the very beginning. And I do have to say, I do prefer Sonequa Martin Green's hair compared to her season 1 hair. I think Sonequa Martin Green with long hair suits her better than the hair that the hairstyle that she had in season 1. But hey, that's just my opinion. Anyway, that is going to wrap up this video. I do have a video coming out tomorrow showing off my Steelbook collection. So that should be set up as a premiere. But hey, if you're a fan of Star Trek and you want to see more Star Trek reviews by me, feel free to subscribe. The subscribe button should have just glowed if you're not subscribed. And because I will be reviewing Discovery every Thursday, and then of course when we get the final season of Lower Decks, that we now know is the final season of Lower Decks, I will of course review that, review every episode of that, and then of course season 2 of Star Trek Prodigy whenever we get the green light for it to be on Netflix here, because the French got it first, which I've been avoiding spoilers for, so no spoilers for season 2 of Prodigy if you have gone out of your way to see it. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you all tomorrow for my Steelbook collection video. But other than that, I'll see you then next Thursday for another Star Trek Discovery review. I'll see you all next time.